Hey Reddit, I'm Jake25m, and I've been carrying this tale for years. It all kicked off when I was 17. My parents had split up a few years prior, and my mom had just tied the knot again. Her new husband, Tom, was the kind of guy who seemed like he stepped out of a high-end watch ad, sleek, arrogant, and always going on about his legacy. He had 2 kids from his previous marriage, twins named Emma and Ethan, who were around 12 at the time. At first, I tried to stay hopeful. Maybe this could be a new beginning for us all, but it didn't take long for things to unravel. Tom didn't take to me. He'd toss out snarky remarks about how I lacked drive or spent too much time on my computer. My mom, who used to have my back, started agreeing with him. "Jake, you need to mature," she'd say. "Tom's just trying to guide you." Then came the bombshell. It was a Wednesday evening, and I was in my room cramming for a biology exam. My mom knocked and walked in, her expression stiff, like she'd rehearsed this moment. "Jake, we need to have a serious talk," she said. I knew it was trouble. She only used that tone when things were dire. "Tom and I have been discussing, and we think it's time for you to move out." I stared, waiting for her to say it was a joke, but she was dead serious. "What?" I finally choked out. "It's just we need to focus on Emma and Ethan right now. They're at a pivotal age, and Tom believes your presence might distract them." "Distract them?" I said, my voice climbing. "What does that even mean?" She sighed like I was the one being difficult. "Jake, you're almost grown. You need to learn to fend for yourself. Tom says it'll build character." "Tom says," I shot back. "Since when does he get to decide my life?" Her face turned cold. "This isn't up for discussion. You have until the end of the month to sort it out." And just like that, I was out on my own. I crashed at my buddy Ryan's place for a bit, but his parents weren't exactly thrilled about an extra teenager in their home. I got a job at a burger joint, saved every cent, and eventually rented a rundown studio apartment. It was a mess, leaky pipes, no heat, and a shower that worked when it wanted to. But it was mine. I dropped out of high school to work full-time. My mom never called, not once. The years that followed were a grind of survival and hustle. I worked long hours, taught myself programming at night, and started taking freelance coding gigs. By 22, I'd saved enough to launch my own tech startup. It was a risk, but it paid off massively. Fast forward to last year. My company got bought out for millions. I got myself a sleek condo, a new car, and finally felt like I could relax. That's when my mom popped back into my life. It started with a text. "Jake, it's Mom. Can we meet?" I stared at my phone, my gut twisting. Part of me wanted to ignore her, but another part, the naive part, wanted answers, so I agreed to see her. She looked older, her hair flecked with gray, but otherwise unchanged. She smiled like we were just catching up after a short break. "Jake, you look incredible," she said, reaching for my hand. I pulled away. "What do you want, Mom?" Her smile wavered. I wanted to check in. I heard about your company. I'm so proud of you." "Proud?" I let out a bitter laugh. "You kicked me out. You didn't care if I was dead or alive. And now you're proud?" She looked down, her hands fidgeting. "I messed up, Jake, but I'm your mother. I love you." "Do you?" I asked, because it sure didn't feel like love when she picked Tom and his kids over me. She had no answer. I left without another word. A week later, she called again, cutting to the chase. "Jake, I need help," she said. "Tom left me. He took everything, the house, the savings. I'm broke." I stayed quiet. "I was hoping you could loan me some money just until I get back on my feet." I laughed, a cold, hollow sound. "You're serious? You want my money, after everything?" She hesitated, her breathing shaky over the phone. "Jake, I know I screwed up, but I'm your mom. Family sticks together." "Funny," I said. "I don't recall you sticking by me when I was crashing on a couch and living off instant noodles." She didn't reply, and I hung up. But her words lingered. I couldn't shake them. Part of me wanted to tell her to get lost, but another part, the part that remembered the mom she used to be, wondered if she'd changed. Then my half-sister Emma called. I hadn't spoken to her in years, not since I was kicked out. "Jake," she said, her voice soft, "I need your help." "What's going on?" I asked, frowning. "It's Mom," she said. "She's struggling bad. Tom took everything, and she's barely scraping by. She's too stubborn to ask for help, but I'm worried, Jake." I sighed, running a hand through my hair. "Emma, I don't know if I'm the right guy for this. Your mom, our mom, made it clear I didn't matter." "I know," Emma said quickly. "I'm not asking for her. I'm asking for me and Ethan. We're just kids, Jake. We didn't choose any of this." Her words hit hard. Emma and Ethan were innocent, caught in their parents' chaos. "Okay," I said finally. "I'll help, but I need to talk to Mom first. In person." We met at a diner near my old neighborhood. My mom looked exhausted, her eyes shadowed, her hands shaking as she stirred her coffee. Emma and Ethan sat beside her, their faces pale. Jake, my mom said, forcing a smile. Thank you for coming, I nodded, sitting across from them. Let's get to it. Emma says you're struggling. Her smile faded. I didn't want to trouble you. I know you're busy with your company. Yeah, I am, I said. But Emma and Ethan are my siblings. If they need help, I'm here. But I need the truth. What's going on? She hesitated, then sighed. Tom left me. He took the house, the money, even the car. He said he didn't want to be tied down. I'm working 2 jobs, but it's not enough. We're about to lose the apartment. I leaned back, studying her. And you only thought to call me now? I didn't think you'd care, she admitted. I didn't answer right away. Part of me wanted to tear into her to remind her how she'd chosen Tom over me. But looking at Emma and Ethan, I couldn't. Here's the deal, I said finally. I'll cover rent for a place for you and the kids for 6 months. That's enough time to get stable. Her eyes widened. Jake, I don't know what to say. Don't say anything, I cut her off. This is for them, not you. Things went quiet after that. I paid for an apartment for my mom and the kids and set up a small fund for Emma and Ethan's school costs. I told myself it was the right call, but deep down, I was still furious. Furious at my mom for abandoning me, at Tom for wrecking our family, and at myself for still giving a damn. Then one night Emma called, her voice trembling. Jake, you need to come over now. What's wrong? I asked, grabbing my keys. It's Mom, she said. She's been lying to you. I drove to the apartment, my mind racing. Emma was waiting outside when I got there. What's going on? I asked. She looked down, twisting her hands. Mom's been talking to Tom. They're getting back together. I stared, my stomach dropping. What? She didn't want you to know, Emma said. She thought you'd stop helping us if you found out, but I couldn't lie to you, Jake. You've done so much for us. I took a deep breath, steadying myself. Where is she? Inside, Emma said, stepping aside. I walked in. My mom was on the couch, her face paling as she saw me. Jake, she said, standing, I can explain. Explain what? I said. That you've been lying, that you're going back to the guy who ruined our family? She flinched. It's not like that. Tom's different now. He wants to fix things. And you believe him? I asked. After everything, I don't have a choice, she snapped, tears in her eyes. I can't do this alone, Jake. I stared at her. You had a choice. You could have chosen me, but you didn't, and now you're choosing him again. She didn't respond. I turned to leave. Jake, wait, she called. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't say anything. I just walked out. The next few days were a haze. I couldn't stop thinking about what Emma had said. My mom was reuniting with Tom, the man who'd convinced her to toss me out, and she'd been using my money to stay afloat while planning to get back with him. It felt like betrayal all over again, and I wasn't sure I could take it. I buried myself in work, trying to distract myself, but it didn't work. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw my mom's face, her shaking hands, her desperate eyes. I hated that I still cared, that part of me wanted to forgive her despite everything. Then one evening, my phone buzzed. It was Tom. I stared at the screen, my gut twisting. I hadn't spoken to him in years, not since I was kicked out. Part of me wanted to ignore it, but another part, the angry, vengeful part, wanted to know what he had to say. I answered. Jake, he said, his voice slick and confident, like he hadn't just turned my life upside down again. It's been a while. What do you want, Tom? I asked. I heard you've been helping your mom, he said, dodging my question. That's generous of you. I always knew you'd go far. I clenched my fist. Cut the nonsense, Tom. Why are you calling? He chuckled, and the sound made my skin crawl. Straight to it, huh? I like that. Look, I know things got rough between us, but it's time to let bygones be bygones. Your mom and I are getting back together, and I think we should move forward as a family. A family? I said. You got me thrown out, Tom. You convinced my mom to ditch me, and now you want to play house. People screw up, Jake, he said. Your mom and I have been through a lot, but we're ready to start fresh. I think you should too. I didn't respond right away. I was too pissed, too hurt. But then an idea sparked. This could be my chance to make Tom pay for everything. You know what, Tom? I said finally. You're right, let's move on. Why don't we meet, hash things out, just us? There was a pause, and I could almost hear him scheming. I think that's a solid plan, he said. Tomorrow. My treat? Sure, I said, keeping my voice steady. Tomorrow. I hung up, already planning how to turn this into a lesson he'd never forget. The next day, I met Tom at an upscale restaurant downtown. He was already there, lounging at a corner table with a glass of whiskey in hand. He looked the same, polished, smug, and full of himself. Jake, he said, standing and offering his hand. Good to see you. I shook it, forcing a smile. You too, Tom. We sat, and Tom launched into a speech about how he'd missed me, how he always knew I'd succeed, how proud he was. I nodded along, pretending to listen, waiting for my moment. Finally, after what felt like forever, he leaned back and said, "So, Jake, I've been thinking. With your mom and me getting back together, we need to be on the same page. And I've got a way to make that happen." "Oh," I said, raising an eyebrow. "Yeah," he said. "I've got this investment opportunity, a real estate project that's going to be huge, but I need backers, people who see the vision. You'd be perfect." There it was. He didn't want reconciliation. He wanted my cash. "How much?" I asked. His eyes gleamed. "1 million, maybe 2, but trust me, Jake, it's a lock. You'll triple your investment in no time." I nodded, pretending to mull it over. "Sounds promising, but before I sign on, I need details. Contracts, financials, the works. My lawyers will need to review everything."